getting into a quick analysis, going to be going over MasonEliwood's Roy versus Professor Lockdown. A little bit old. Yeah, I know, Mason, you've said that this is, you know, not quite up to date, and you've already seen some things you don't like about it that you have improved, like double jumping, you said specifically. Yeah, that is a song of a dog, which actually kind of freaked me out the first time. It's in the OC remix of the song that I use for background audio. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Get my on-screen annotation tool up and running. State. Let's see if this is cool. Yep, that's working. I actually downloaded another on-screen annotation tool. It's a little bit prettier, but I haven't figured out how to make it actually work with my browser setup yet. Okay, so we were actually talking about this. You know, since this is DK versus Roy. You know, obviously I played against DK well in Low Tier 3, so a lot of discussion about that. I think to preface this, I think one of the main problems I see in this video. So obviously, you know, you've talked about some of the things that you are, like I mentioned, that you obviously saw wrong. The main thing I think is a little bit of impatience, especially in this matchup. I think Roy should be playing a little bit more defensive since, you know, Ding Dong's so oppressive. His hitboxes are real good. DK actually has arm invulnerability on a lot of his tilts on the ground, like I think down tilt, F tilt, and up tilt. So it's basically like he's waving around a big old meaty sword whenever he's doing that. So we don't really beat those hitboxes. It just doesn't really happen. So like baiting out a response from him, and because Nair is really good, but we can't really like invade his space with the Nair. We have to use it more like coming in and then like controlling that part of the stage and not letting him into that area. And then if he starts getting antsy, punishing. If he like starts getting passive, then slowly pushing in. I think should really be the game plan, which requires a lot of patience, obviously, which isn't really, which I don't really see from this set, but I'll try to give examples. This actually is a really good full-out neutral air. I like this. YouTube. I didn't actually download the video, so I'm obviously showing it on YouTube rather than DLC. Let's get rid of this. Red lines. Cease. Thanks. So yeah, a little bit of patience here. You know, like the run in, the jump back, empty hop, setting up the full hop, following neutral air, which is actually, I think that's a really good tactic, especially against a character like DK who's so big, who's pretty hard to miss with the second swing of neutral air. This is good. I like it. And you know, obviously, Roy gets big rewards off of neutral air. Let's turn the sound up. Or, that should be fine. So, for neutral airs like this neutral air is actually super ballsy. Getting in super deep like this with the neutral air into your opponent's space, like especially like their area, so like you're going to be landing right in front of them afterwards. The best out of shield punish, as always, is shield grab. Shield grab comes out supremely fast. It's frame 7 for some characters, frame 6 for a lot of others. Versus, you know, shield dropping going into attack. Shield dropping alone takes 7 frames, and then plus the frames of the startup or whatever they're going to be doing. So shield grab is extremely fast. Neutral air, space this deep, is not safe on shield. So, not to say that it's a bad tactic, a bad thing to do, it's just an all-in. And if you do this sort of neutral air, I think you should really be going for as hard a punish as humanly possible. Obviously, all-in neutral air is a great way to set up damage. It links to forward air, it links to sometimes more neutral airs, it can link to tilts. I don't know if it works, if F Smash is actually a true combo, but it seems like there are situations where it's like definitely a possibility. So I think that's something to look out for. So here you get, curse you, YouTube. Here you get neutral air. And then you go for a jab afterwards to make it safe, but you can't really, like, well, I guess not necessarily to make it safe, but to go like for a safe, simple follow-up, which would have worked at lower percents. But at these percents, obviously, you know, he's too far away for the jab to actually hit. I think you should just be going for more neutral airs. I think you should, if you're going to go in, go all in and try and get as much damage as humanly possible. So like right here, you could have gotten neutral air, and then if you had done the neutral just a little bit deeper, which there would have been no reason not to, really, you're already going super deep for the neutral air. Go just a little bit deeper, and then just do another neutral air afterwards, link into huge damage, because it'd be like neutral air, maybe a forward air afterwards. My chat disappeared. Useful. Yeah, so if you're gonna do it, might as well go big, since there's not much reason not to. It's already gonna be unsafe if it doesn't work. There's no real like making it safe. You could, in this sort of situation, set up for a safe neutral air. You could instead of jumping in, starting the neutral air, and going in deep, instead you could instead run in and then neutral air, and then back up, which is one of the how's it going, FGUG? Yeah, I guess my my chat's not. Oh no, there it is. It's there. Yeah, there it is. Chat was kind of quiet, I guess. Thought it faded. But yeah, the this sort of neutral air, the run in, jump, neutral air, and then drift backwards, I think is extremely important. It's one of the best ways to make use of this. Like, look at how big this hitbox is. Look at how big the sword goes. Whereas not. I mean, a lot of people will give Roy, you know, flack for not swinging his sword correctly. Neutral air is definitely one of the moves where he swings his sword correctly and gets like the full entire rotation of this. That's a lot of space to control, and then you know comes through with a second swing afterwards. So if you do this, if you run in, if you jump straight, do neutral air, and then drift back, I mean, by the time your opponent is out of their shield, you're gonna be like back here, which even if you don't even necessarily hit with the neutral air, it's still a really, really safe tactic to do, especially against a big character like DK. Since he's so large, he can't go underneath the neutral air like some characters can. Like, if you try to do this too much against Pikachu, he'll just dash attack you. DK can't do that. He's too big. Yeah, so this is kind of like a middling neutral air, where like you go like you don't take too big of a risk for the follow up afterwards, but I think you should either do one or the other. You should be playing it. You should be like super safe spacing with the neutral air, or just go super deep. Sometimes you'll get punished for going super deep, and that's fine. You just call out a little bit better next time. And if you do get it, you get tons and tons of damage. Like neutral air, even if you just got neutral air. I mean that's what 28 damage, 25 damage with staling, maybe something afterwards. It's a lot of damage. The fact that YouTube goes down when you press space, triggers me. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. You guys still hearing me fine? I don't know if chat's just being inactive because you guys are enthralled by my beautiful voice or what? Testing 1 2. Let me see some ones in the chat. Make sure that okay, you can hear me. Excellent. Cool. Yeah, spacebar, especially because spacebar, like, if you're like focused in on the actual video because you're messing with like the play button, spacebar makes it pauses it and it stops it and it makes it go. But if you're not, like if I press it makes me mad. Which is one of the reasons why I usually export into VLC, but I was started the stream a little bit late today. Okay, let's rewind a little bit. So yeah, so you get the neutral air here. I'm not too big a fan of this style of empty hop. So here, you run a little bit, jump in, probably to try and like set up the tech chase, which is not a bad idea in that sense. Like the forward air is really good at covering the space. You can like back air if they tech in, like single hit neutral air and blow them up. Those sort of combo setups afterwards. But just doing an empty hop, you're empty hopping into all of his space. So obviously whenever people are scared, they're going to be shielding, and then their sort of bubble of influence is really small. Like his shield grab will only reach like this far. In general, you want to be spacing around this, like this bubble.
Welcome to the Hamlet.
Thanks for the follow. Dorn Cereal, is it? Dorn Cereal? So you want to be spacing around this shield grab range. So, I mean the empty hop forward isn't necessarily bad, but this zone you want to be outside of whenever you're landing from it, just so he can't just scoop you up and get free damage. So like running either short hopping and then landing here, or even just running in and trying to get a read on his tech roll and then like jumping backwards. Because especially if you obviously your opponents are going to be looking for shield grabs. They're if anyone anytime anyone is near your shield, like even especially bad players, like if you get anywhere near this area, they'll just mash shield grabs. Scoop me up, and I'm in a bad position. Get off of me. I want to do damage to you. So if you like run in and like get barely just inside this range, and then scoop backwards with the empty hop, they'll panic and try to spot dodge you. And even if you can't necessarily punish that with side B or forward air or neutral air or whatever it is you're trying to set up, it still puts them in a terrible position afterwards, where like they're at really a real negative frame advantage where they can't press a button again because any button we press is going to come out first, and so they have to shield, or they do a panic option, and then you punish it. Hey, what's up, Backseat Gaming Bros? PT Ain. I don't know if I'm pronouncing Ain. Ain. PT Ain. How's it going, Drunkest Dungeon buddies? No Drunkest Dungeon tonight, unfortunately. Going over some Smash 4 analysis, but definitely want to do more of that in the future. Ana? Okay. Anna. Nice. I'm probably going to get that wrong a million times. It's silly in German? Okay, cool. German's an interesting language. I actually studied a lot of German. Oh, let me get my music back up and running while I'm chatting. Studied German was the only language I actually studied in high school, but like none of it stuck, unfortunately. Let's get
Enjoy your stay.
Thanks for the follow. Love you all. Still recovering for the way they changed Pit in Smash 4. Oh yeah, he is really different from Brawl Pit. Yeah, so the spacing around shield grab, super important. Which actually, I mean, it's a good example here. Since you don't space around the shield grab, here's you, YouTube, you get clipped by the down tilt. Well, so like that general threat range, he kind of like swung wildly with the down tilt and got the conversion off of it. If you had stayed back a little bit, probably wouldn't be able to punish with down tilt since down tilt's got low cooldown. But yeah, like again, making him whiff so that you have frame advantage is always good. Now PM Pit, that character was real good, before he got nerfed. Playing against Zero's Pit was a challenge. So yeah, get some damage from that. Fortunately, not at the percent where throw is going to kill you. This is a setup DK will do a lot. For whatever reason, single hit of jab actually pulls opponents towards him rather than like pushing them away like a lot of other characters. So you'll see DK will do this a lot. He tried it in my set against me as well. That set against me at low 2 to D4. Just be ready to buffer an option because I mean it takes some reaction time, but if you get caught by this, like you're about to see, okay, he didn't kill you there. He might have been able to kill you. It was that maybe he didn't have the rage. If he was a little bit higher rage, he probably could have killed with the up air there since we're on Town City. I did play Armada's Pit, actually. Yeah. I played it once. Yeah, there is the set up on YouTube. Me versus him at Skater 3. Unfortunately, I had just beaten Zero's Pit before that. And then Zero, I saw Zero, go over to Armada afterwards, once they saw that I'd play him. And they sat down and they talked super excitedly for 5 or 10 minutes. And I was like, oh my god, he's telling Armada all the things about about what Ray does and how I do things. And then Armada, he played super defensive and stayed on the ledge and harassed with arrows a lot. And I wasn't really sure how to deal with it and kind of folded. Intangible jab. Is DK's jab intangible? Is that what you're talking about, Vidar? Well, as always, let's consult. Greatness. Gorigana Hammer. See what it says. Not seeing any armor intangibility on his jab. It's actually a relatively slow jab too. Frame 5. Same as us, and we have a sword. But yeah, F tilt got arm intangibility, up tilt arm intangibility, down tilt arm intangibility. F smash, even the smashes actually have arm intangibility, so we just don't beat those hitboxes. Why isn't there a manga based off this match scene? That would be really, really cool. I don't know if you've seen, like, there's actually a manga based off of Daigo from Street Fighter, which is super cool. And I've seen like lots of like anime style openings for this Smash scene, and for like posters for like the 5 gods of Melee. But no actual full manga. That'd be really cool. Probably be really expensive to put together, which I imagine is why someone hasn't done it yet. That's my face. Bye. Okay, so yeah, you don't respect his pace too well, and this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, I'll definitely I'll bookmark that. Albino Rhino Rex. Yeah, should be able to get to that eventually, but might be a week or two. We'll most certainly be down for the analysis over that. I have too many things open. I'm trying to... So my... there we go. Push it there. Do you think Junebug will be ranked the best at PM after his two recent major losses? Probably not. I don't know. He's still really good. I think he's still like in contention for it, but yeah, he's not as dominant as he was. He definitely had a bigger impact previously. Plus, I just want everyone to be in a manga, including myself. Mangas are just hype. They're really cool. There's lots of fun stuff you can do. I mean, like, I really like some different anime, like Hajime no Ippo and Prince of Tennis, of course, just because they're the ideas of competition are still the same as in Smash community, and also the way that people just interact, like the archetypes of people and players, and like banter between people who know each other, is really similar in the Smash community. I did play MVC3 whenever it first came out. I took it super seriously. I used Wesker, Dante, Trish. Eventually swapped the order just because X Factor level 3 Wesker was, balls to the wall, dumb. But, yeah. So this is a great example of what I was talking about. So right here, he's got stage control. He's got advantage. He doesn't really necessarily need to take a risk to actually to punish you. He just has to control this area and wait for you to make a mistake. And so right off the bat, he's controlling the space where you could jab. You can't hit it with down tilt. You could technically run in dash grab, but you'd have to be getting like super deep inside of his tilt range to be able to do that. So this is a really good example of the sort of positioning I'm talking about, where if you're patient and you just kind of like sit back and just keep safe, eventually your opponent does something that puts them at a disadvantage, and then you buttons them, you dash grab them, you neutral air them, you down tilt them, you side B them, and then your opponent gets ding dong and they die. Of course, we don't ding dong people, but you get the idea. I'd kill you if you told me who I made in MVC3. I don't know. I think most MVC3 characters are interesting. The game's kind of crazy, so it's hard to be too upset over anyone making any given character. Are you watching all of Rurouni Kenshin? I actually haven't finished Rurouni Kenshin. I've watched 2 as Kenshin is about to fight Shishio. But then I was traveling as a kid, so I missed like all the stuff after that. Like right after the Saito has the set with the guy with the shield. Zero Virgil's good. I think we've actually had this discussion before, Kuki, how how I have residual zero salt. I should go watch it sometime. It'd be fun. It'd be good. How did you deal with Thunders when you played him? Thunders was really hard. Really, really hard. The first time, so as you may have mentioned, you may have seen whatever I mentioned in my article for PM at Lotus 64. We played him. We played like an hour, like a year ago. An hour ago. Jeez. He actually beat me in winners, and I had to come through grand finals and win the 2 sets, and it went down to last game, last hit. One of the main reasons why I beat him is because Footstool honestly wrecks DK. There were several times, like between 2 and 4 times in grand final sets, where I forward aired him as he was like coming up onto the stage without a double jump, and landed the down tilt, and landed full hop forward air, and then comboed directly into Footstool. And if you footstool DK, even at like full hop height, if he doesn't have a double jump, he just doesn't make it back to the ledge. So I got a handful of kills that were like around like that 50, 60, 70%, much earlier than where I can usually kill DK. And that was the only thing that equalized his punish game, because his punish game it's nuts. It's so good. And even then, like it went down to the wire. It went down to last game, last stock, last game, last set, the second set of grand finals, last stock, and he actually suicided at the end. It was super anticlimactic. Okay, sorry, back to this. Okay, I like the formations here. I'm sure you've seen me talk about this before. How like the full hop, air dodge, falling up air is a pretty good thing. I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing to do whenever you're coming down from invulnerability, because so here, let's see, let's track. So you're still actually invulnerable from the platform invulnerability at like the startup of this air dodge. It probably would have ran out like in the middle of it. So in this situation, I think it might be better just to run in and like get a deep short hop neutral, like go for the all-in in that way. Not a terrible idea. Just like a little inefficient. Good spacing by him. So music stop. No, music stop. So we get clipped. The jab's kind of a panic jab here. It's really important in Smash to be reacting to what your opponent is doing rather than like guessing ahead of time and just pressing the button, which is kind of an easy habit to get to in Smash 4 especially. Especially online, since you have like the buffer and a little bit of input latency on top of it. But here, like, there's not really any reason why you should be pushing the jab. He's very obviously pulling back after the back air, and I imagine you had an idea that he was going to be trying to come in for the dash grab. But here he back aired and then he took a couple of steps first and then dash grabbed to try and bait out a response, since you had been doing some panic jabs already. So yeah, so he's going to get some good damage off that. Good pressure here. Down tilt is so safe on block. Sweet spot down tilt is like -6, which is like 1 or 2 frames off of being unpunishable. Because they can still shield grab if your spacing is off and you're super deep. But since the pushback pushes them even further away, you have to like be almost literally point blank. So I really like down tilt at the ledge. I think it's a good decision. Nice poking by him. Again, the full hop neutral air, working out pretty well. Okay, those are good jabs. I think this down air is apologies, for like going over all of the different interactions with the fine tooth comb, but that's what I'm here for. If I'm gonna assume that you haven't gone over this yourself. I'm sure there's stuff you've seen that I'm going over that you're like, oh right, of course I fixed that already. But just to make sure. I have 0 salt because 0 was amazing in MVC3. So 0 was amazing in vanilla Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the first original version. And then they nerfed all the characters better than him going into Ultimate. And then they buffed 0. Which is a pretty crazy decision in my opinion. Like the lightning loops are insane. His overall character is like super diverse. There's so much he does. And then they made him even better. Completely fine with being an manga universe when my download speed wasn't complete on. That is the worst. So, back to this jab. You tried for a jab grab a lot in this set, so this is like the second or third attempt, and one of them worked. I think you've got like a 1 out of 3 success rate. At these high percents, you probably shouldn't be going for it. Just like you could potentially kill DK at these percents. So, jabbing. And then like going for a dash attack if you think he's going to air dodge or try to catch his landing, or like step forward and just shield, and then like up smash out of shield or up B out of shield, like if you think he's gonna evolve an aerial or an air dodge. And not the best follow up here with down air. I can understand wanting to make a risky play since you're behind, but you could have gotten something a little bit more guaranteed, like forward air or neutral air. Don't know if it'd be 100% guaranteed in this situation, but taking guaranteed damage at this point in time I think is a good idea, because he's at 100 already. It's going to put him at like 114 if you get neutral air. Push him super far off stage, and then he has to recover. We could potentially set up for back airs or countering the up B, or even just getting up and staying at the ledge and pressuring and landing an F tilt or something would probably finish him off. Whereas here, you know, you do something kind of risky. You go off stage and put in a pretty bad position. And in the grand scheme of things, you got punished not directly for trying the down air, but the positioning in the long run led to you taking damage here. Excellent counter. Yep. Why did you get grabbed? Oh, that pivot grab range. Oh. Good lord. So I think against DK, we probably again you have to understand that like these are percents where his grab will kill. So you really have to play around with that. So sitting in shield whenever he's coming down from invulnerability, probably not the best idea, since you know he wants to land the grab. This would be a better time to use like the full hop air dodge movement, or even just like running around trying to feint out with rolls. One of the things I really like to do whenever someone's coming down from invulnerability. Well, here let's back it up so I can draw on the entire stage. My nice little pen. One of the things I like to do whenever people are coming down from invulnerability is stand at the stage, because the standard thing people do in Smash 4, or in Smash in general, whenever people are coming down from invulnerability, is roll behind them, get back to the center stage, and then like dance this way. So what I like to do to sort of play around that expectation is be at the ledge in that sort of similar situation, and then run forward and then roll back. Because this creates the expectation of like you're trying to slip past them and go in towards center stage, but then instead you slip away, and it's pretty hard to punish that sort of roll on reaction. If they're expecting it, if you do it too much, then it's punishable, obviously, but it works a surprisingly large amount. Okay, so game 2. I don't think this is a terribly good stage versus Donkey Kong. Since it's got a relatively low ceiling, since there are the platforms, he's still going to be able to get up air kills. I don't necessarily know what the right choice would be. Battlefield seems like a fine choice, you know, high ceiling. You know, again, no problem with the platforms. Duck Hunt seemed to work well against DK Will whenever I played against him, but again. Yeah, cargo up throw into punch, super brutal stuff. A little bit of an overextension with the forward air, which, you know, it kind of makes sense since DK is pretty vulnerable during his up B, but another situation where like you could have just stayed on stage and punished the high up B. Position yourself to punish the high up B, and then, you know, if he didn't do a high up B, then he grabs the ledge and pressure at the ledge. Roy's ledge pressure is really good. Again, not so great conversion. Down throw, jab, 2% for it. So yeah, some impatience here. You could have got killed here, honestly. Like that could very well have been the stock. Jab string. A little bit of help from Wispy there. More impatience and another down air attempt. You see that? That was the second time he up beat high. Just, you know, using all of his hitboxes. So yeah, this is a good example of the impatience I'm talking about. So here, so you have a good idea to use the up smash. You know, timed a little bit more cleanly, it would have beaten his spot dodge, but it wouldn't have killed him at these percents. So going for that sort of risk for the reward of potentially dying for whiffing up smash is a very risky play. Am I going to clutch city smash? Clutch City Clash. I'm planning on it. I haven't solidified plans yet, so I'm not 100% sure, but Clutch City Clash, yeah. I'm gonna try to make it out to it. Should be fun. I'd like to do more commentary with Jake 13, that'd be fun. Some dancing around. Good air dodge. Patience. This is good. I'd say you're, I don't know if internally or you know, you realized it, that you had caught on to the fact that you like to just do smash attacks at the ledge to cover cover all that space. So this counter was good. Obviously, you know, he tried for the F smash before. He tried the down smash this time to cover the roll on and the get up in place. Excellent way to blow him up for that. So this is another example. He's not actually pressing buttons here. He's not actively pressuring you by like pressing by physically attacking you or like doing stuff on your shield. He's literally just standing outside of your reach and seeing what it is you're going to do. And whenever you do nothing, this is actually the same timing as him going after you whiff the jab too. So it's you know, it's not like amazing play on his part. It's not like he's reading into your mind and knowing your shield. He's just playing at a safe space, you know, going for stuff afterwards. Where's the DK? We'll use this green DK. Shrek DK. Oh my. OTC4 commentary was probably the best commentary I've heard for all games. Think so? The best commentary for. I wonder what the criteria are using there. Like best from Texas or best in general. I kind of felt a little bit off in top 8 for Melee. I had gotten at that point in time I was kind of sick from being at the convention. Like my throat was super deep, which you might actually be able to hear now. It's still a little bit raspy. You know, getting that con cold. So yeah, I felt like Jake 13 definitely. Well, we had a pretty nice back and forth. I didn't do like terrible. I wasn't on my A game, so I'm a little salty. So you know, first big chance, and you know, it wasn't bad, but not commentating perfectly. There's definitely much I could improve on. Okay, I'm gonna do the down throw off stage. So this double jump could have been delayed a little bit. As you saw, you'd come down and then double jumped up about right here, which is kind of suboptimal. So Roy, in this position, in my opinion, you either want to be up being straight to the ledge and like trying to snap there before they come down with an aerial, potentially saving your double jump if you don't have tap jump, or if you're, you know, not using tap jump for your up B for whatever reason. Or you should be dropping down super low, perhaps air dodging through this space right here, and then double jumping up and up being to like slip behind behind their hitboxes. We got a cough drop. I got a cough drop up here. So yeah, the double jump there leaves you pretty vulnerable. Since you're so close to the ledge, I mean, as you can see here, he's literally just walking off the stage and neutral airing you out of your jump. Pretty unsafe. Something to look out for. Something you don't want to do. CC would be great. Yeah, I think it would. It would be great. Both for commentary and for playing. And fight fatality. That'd be fun. Yeah, and especially, not only is the double jump putting you in a bad place afterwards, but as I mentioned, Roy without his double jump, you know, getting hit off stage. DK Nair isn't particularly strong, but Roy just can't make it back in that distance. And that was just rude. I mean, come on. Kicking you in the face on your way down. Good strings from him. Nice punish on the roll.
Welcome to the Hamlet.
Thanks to the fellow, Nerdy SSB. Yeah. not too much to say about this. Good spacing on his part. Kind of hard to get around. I mean, whenever you're off balance like that is Roy. Again, his timing. Just standing, waiting just a moment, so that he could kind of instill the fear in you, and then coming in for the dash grab afterwards. Yeah, nerdy. I do stream some. It's been something of I'm starting up, as you can see, you know, by my numbers on followers and views and such. That hadn't been doing it too much. It's difficult for me to find the time to stream sometimes, since I'm busy on commentary. A lot of afternoons and like tournaments for weekends. But it's Tuesdays. I usually try and do it, since Tuesdays is a free day. 25% for the ding dong. That's interesting. Let's look at this TI actually. I wonder. I would have expected the ding dong to work at this percent. I wonder why it didn't. Gets the grab. Throws. Huh, maybe he just didn't chase DI right? Or maybe DI in is harder to follow. That's something I want to sit down and like really analyze. Is what's the best way to make this ding dong as hard as humanly possible for him, or if there are ways like we can DI out to get out earlier. Because like I said, this is a. I would have expected it to work at this percent. I don't know if he just did like a suboptimal double jump for like chasing your DI in. But that'd be something that would be nice to experiment more with in the future. Because getting killed by ding dong, of course, is very, very bad. I don't want it to happen as little as possible. That's an amazing reason you're main right. It's good to hear. Always glad to hear that I've been an inspiration. This is a good read. I think this should have been a free forward air. Again, speaking on reaction, or maybe you're trying to find a down air here and like realize like last second that that you'd missed all the down airs sense, so you just wanted to be safe, which is respectable. But here you definitely should have hit him with something. Like you can see right here, you're literally inside of his body. You could be pressing any button that Roy has, and you know, you could have spiked him, you could have forward aired him, you could have neutral aired him. Yeah, so you're setting up that short hop as sort of like the lure, and then seeing that he air dodged and reacting to the air dodge is something that's really, really important in high level play, which you set up for and then didn't act. I think this is it. Yep, and force the double jump. Yeah, so here you had the double jump here just because you're so far out. I don't really like this air dodge because you're so far out whenever you start it. Like, you start the air dodge here, and you're invulnerable, and then you become vulnerable here, which is pretty easy for him to cover, just drop down and attack this area. Whereas if you had hesitated on the air dodge, because you know, he hasn't started jumping at you yet again, so you know, you missed the Farrakhan's Wi-Fi. Okay, yeah, makes sense. But yeah, this if you had air dodged instead, like here, then you'd be safe down to all this area, where it'd be really, really hard for him to cover, like down here. He would have to drop down and spike to hit you with that, which would be a super hard call out. A very unsafe thing. Alternately, you actually could have recovered high instead of air dodging in this position. So instead of air dodging up here, you actually could have just, if you're expecting him to drop off and try and intercept low, you could just up B high and then either go to the stage or drop to the ledge. Obviously, if he, you know, if he does nothing and he baits it out, he can just double jump and hit you, but you're off stage without a double jump. Hard calls have to be made. It's another thing, you know, potentially to look out for. The only time Wi-Fi, only noticeable time Wi-Fi affected this hit. Okay, yeah, it seemed like overall a fairly clean set. Yeah, and after the back air, that's just super curtains. Definitely not making it back from that. So yeah, that's the main things. Patience overall. If you want, like again, if you want to see examples of it, literally just see the times where he sat next to you, sat close by you at the ledge just outside of your range and did nothing, and got the punishes afterwards. It can be a little bit harder to punish as a Roy because we don't have that nice beefy dash grab that we can just run in and put hands on people, but putting yourself in a safe position like that and then poking with safe spaced neutral airs or down tilts or jabs, F tilts, or waiting for them to do something and shielding it at side being, etc. is really strong. Really, really strong. Doesn't even necessarily matter how good or bad your character's out of shield game is, it's just a good strategy. Wow. Okay, I think that about wraps up the analysis video. I'm going to just do a relatively quick one today. I actually went over a lot more than I expected it to, being only a 4-minute video. But yeah, I hope that helps. Any other follow-up questions, once again, feel free to shoot me those, whether that be on Twitter or Discord or wherever else you have my social media access. I think that's gonna about wrap it up.